Welcome back to another episode. I'm your host, Arbor. Let's take a look at the 2024 Hyundai Elantra Preferred Package. The 2024 Hyundai Elantra. It's not just driving, it's flexing. Its main design element is these angular lines, and quite honestly, I do like them. Now, I don't know how well they will age, but in the time being, they do look great. Taking a look at the front of the vehicle, we do see it has parking sensors in the front, and the headlights also have this nice LED strip in them, which I do like when illuminated. Your turn signals below the headlights. Definitely a lot of thought has been put into the front end design of this vehicle. It definitely looks more expensive than it is. We'll talk about pricing later. Let's move along to the side of the vehicle. Moving along to the side, flowing the angular lines. Also, we notice the wheels. Kumo Majesty Solus 225/45 R17 squared. Definitely giving you plenty of grip, especially this being a commuter car. It doesn't really need to be all too sporty. It does the job. Easy entry lock on the door handles. Well, I did notice one thing. It does only have a button. Normally, you put your hand here, it unlocks, but this one, you just press the button. It's interesting. I guess that's for cost savings, but if it works, it works. Side mirrors flow with the vehicle, with angles being the main design element in the Elantra. Moving further back, we do see this area, more angles here. Do like this area. Taking a look at the rear of the 2024 Hyundai Elantra, we will see that nothing has really changed. We still have the rear connecting taillight, which I do think looks good. Button to open your trunk just in the middle. Reverse camera there, Elantra badging all across the trunk. The rear diffuser has seen a little bit of a facelift as well. Fake venting on each side for aesthetic purposes, and a hidden exhaust. Now, one thing I did notice driving, I don't like this rear glass. The rear visibility is not that great in this vehicle, probably because the trunk sits up so high. The rear view mirror is almost unusable. Can't see much out of here. Let's talk about trunk space. Quite a bit of space in here, 14.2 cubic feet of space. First thing I noticed, it doesn't have a traditional 60-40 split for the rear seats. You just pull both tabs and it goes down at the same time. I've never seen that in any other car. Looking underneath the trunk cover, we do see a space-saving spare tire. Nice to see in 2024. Taking a further look into the trunk, we won't see any hooks for your grocery bags or any tie downs for any larger items you may want secured, but that's to be expected in a car like this. Remote start, you press your lock and then you hold it, and then you can shut it off with that button as well. Unlock here, hold to sound the alarm. You'll notice the way the buttons are placed. You'll see the Hyundai logo. And this button opens the trunk as well. 2024 Hyundai Elantra. Let's talk about the rear seats. Comfort. They are comfortable. There is a lot of space. I did set the front seat as if I was the driver. I could sit here for a long period of time, though if I had the choice, I probably wouldn't. Features back here. 2 USB-C ports, and that's about it. There's no rear vents, no behind seat storage, no armrest. There is a cup holder in the door, but you are limited by height. Handle up here, map light in the center up there. Visibility is good. The rear window opens almost all the way down. Sitting in the driver's seat of the Hyundai Elantra Preferred Package. First thing we notice, we're blocking off the passenger. He or she is not allowed to touch whatever controls we have. We have this handle, we have a wall. We've built a wall in the car. Let's talk about the comfort. I do love the door card design. It almost reminds me as if I'm sitting in a luxury German vehicle, though I am in a Hyundai Elantra. You put your arm here, it rests nicely. I gotta say, some of the design elements I do love. The build quality, it's good. For the price, it's good. Some of the stuff you will be touching more often, like the shifter and the steering wheel, they are leather wrapped. It will give you that premium feel. Though other things being leather wrapped would have been a nice touch, but then again, you would pay more money. Looking at the center here, we do have a lot of buttons, which I do like. You can easily get familiarized with. We have our start stop button over here, map, navigation, radio, media, volume knob, and on off switch for the radio. Seek your tracks here, favorite, and setup here. Dual zone climate control, though it does have this wall passenger is not allowed to touch. We've made it clear with the design element here. You have your off button for the climate, heated steering wheel button here, adjust your fan speed here. Turn it down, it's a bit chilly. Adjust where you want the air to come out, and AC button here. Heated seat for the driver, front defrost, rear defrost, circulation, outside air, passenger heated seat. Just below, down here, we do have a 12-volt port, USB-A, and our USB-C charging. Shifter here, cubby down in there, drive mode button here. Maybe you could put your phone in there. Yeah, it fits, so there is some space down there. And our button for the camera here. Taking a look at the infotainment system, plenty of options here. You have your map, navigation menu, phone projection, voice memo, climate, valet mode, quiet mode, HD radio data, radio, media, setup, Blue Link, notifications, and user manual. Blue Link gives you the ability to remotely lock and unlock your vehicle, adjust climate controls, and keep track of your vehicle. Starting it up, we do see this animation. We can press the drive mode, switch it. I do like the sport mode where it gives it that feeling of a fast car. It does look nice, so I'll give it that. Normal, sport, and smart mode. Now, I do like these shifters. Most manufacturers stopped making shifters like this, probably to modernize the interior of the vehicle, though it does modernize it. This is just more easier to use. You have to go to drive, you go to drive, park, much simpler. Now let's take a closer look into the instrument cluster. Taking a look at the driver door card, automatic adjustment for your side mirrors, lock unlock button, and you do have a baby lock for your rear windows. Automatic window only for the driver. All the other windows, you will have to hold the button until it closes or opens. Over by the front area here, we do have our traction control, and we do have our illumination for the cluster. The visor. To illuminate the light, you press a button here, but just in case you forgot to turn it off, you just close it, it shuts off. And now in most cars, it's automatic. When you open the slider or when you open the flap, it turns on. But in Hyundai, you have to manually do it, and then you can shut it off like that or shut it off that way as well. Different, it works. It does slide. Up in here, we have our map lights, our sunroof control, and some safety buttons. Our armrest here, some storage underneath, and then we have our glove box storage here. No charging ports in the armrest storage compartment, nor in the glove box. Talking about the steering wheel, we do have a lot of buttons here. We have our voice activation, our mode button for our media, volume up, track select, phone call, and favorites button. On the right hand side of the steering wheel, the button here controls the cluster. Just to the right of that, we have our cruise control adjustment, and then our lane keep assist. Overall, driving the Hyundai Elantra, the steering wheel is a nice shape, definitely giving you plenty of spots to hold it. You can either hold it here, like that. Personally, I like holding it here on a longer drive, though. Let's talk about drives. The road noise is apparent in the Elantra. To open the trunk, it's not a button but a lever. And same thing for the gas cap as well. ...147 horsepower, 132 foot-pounds of torque. The 2-liter inline 4-cylinder engine in the Hyundai Elantra. Now, this doesn't produce a lot of power and it's not that quick. And paired with the CVT transmission, it's not gonna beat any land speed record. So this basically isn't a race car, and this car is essentially just for your daily grind. Well, that's the exterior and interior look of the Hyundai Elantra. Let's take it for a road test now. Let's talk about the performance. It's enough to get you from A to B. It does have a bit of pep to it if you do floor it all the way. Never mind, I take that back. It'll go 0 to 60 eventually, 8.4 seconds to be exact, but it does get the job done. Now, if you're anything like me and you like performance, this vehicle may not be for you. There's not many engine options for this specific trim. You're better off looking at a Hyundai Elantra N. It's very driver focused, though being a slow car, it still feels like you're in a more high performance vehicle. One thing I did notice immediately is the armrests on the door and the armrest in the center console. I do like how they're positioned. The shifter in the center is nice to hold. Definitely reminds me like I'm on a cruise ship or something. The way this thing is just a lever, or maybe like an airplane, but I must say it's comfortable to rest your hand here, especially on a drive. And one thing I do appreciate about this interior is nicely laid out, no confusion here. You have your touch, but you also have your button option as well. Drive with confidence, knowing the Elantra's got your back. Forward collision warning, automatic emergency braking, lane keep assist, and blind spot monitoring. It's like having a virtual bodyguard riding shotgun with you. Taking a further look into the cabin, we have some premium looking and to the touch materials. Leather wrap steering wheel, leather wrap gear shifter, definitely giving you a luxurious feel. Now, call me classic, but I'm not a huge fan on the digital cluster since it is essentially a screen. But I must say, you get used to it. Not in love with it, maybe just personal preference. It does look different. Again, with vehicles and a lot of other things, you can't stay stagnant. This does give you the feeling that you're in an F1 cockpit, especially with this being blocked off like this. So I do understand the meaning behind this. Now let's talk about the suspension. It is a new vehicle, so it is nice and tight, but it is a little rough over some bumps, so it's not that comfortable. If you're used to a little bit more of a luxurious ride, a more quieter ride, you'll definitely notice the road noise in this. Initially, when I picked this up, driving down the freeway, I thought my window was open, but it turned out it was closed. There's just quite a bit of road noise in this that I'm not quite used to. Though it's not bad once you get used to it. But again, you have to get used to it. And this car shines with the fuel efficiency. You will average about 36 miles to the gallon, or about 7.1 liters per 100 kilometers. Now, if you're brave enough, you could take this for a road trip and save a couple bucks. Now, would I recommend the Hyundai Elantra Preferred package? Yes and no. Let me explain. If comfort, road noise, and speed aren't an issue for you, then yes. Let's talk about pricing on the Hyundai Elantra Preferred. In Canada, it starts at about $24,999, and in the States, it is about $21,500 USD. If you're on a budget and need a vehicle that is new and don't want any headaches of having an old vehicle, you might want to take a look at the Hyundai Elantra. 2024 Hyundai Elantra. Now, it's not a performer, but it does the job. Well, I gotta go now. My Uber's here.
If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and bell notification. I'll see you in the next one.